everybody, welcome back to Hood's Custom Shop. I'm David Hood. Today I'm going to be answering a few questions you guys have been asking about sawmill blades, like the hook angle, stuff like that. What should you get, all this stuff. Here in a second I'll answer that, but first I want to talk to you guys about the Oklahoma YouTube family reunion and how you guys can come out and see my log arch trailer and my sawmill in action at the family reunion. We're going to be doing a demonstration there. Sawyer Ridge Farm and the Crockers, I believe, are bringing some logs out for me to mill up, just so you guys can kind of see how everything works. This is going to be May 22nd at the exciting Southeast Baptist Church in Pryor, Oklahoma. May 22nd, guys, Pryor, Oklahoma. Type in exciting Southeast Baptist Church in Google Maps and you'll be able to find it. Now, if you're coming out and you're kind of far away and you need to get a motel, there's quite a few motels around that area. As far as I know, it sounds like 2 of the motels is already sold out. So this event is actually expected to be huge, guys. It's going to be awesome. Again, I'm going to be there with the sawmill, the log arch trailer. You guys will be able to see that in action, see how it works and everything. I'll probably have a time in there where it's not doing anything, and you guys will be able to come up and ask me questions. I can talk about different aspects of it, how I went about building the trailer, whatever you want to ask about the sawmill. We can just hang out and shoot the bull, just have a good time. And, I think it's going to be really awesome. I hope to see you guys there, put a face with the names and everything. So yeah, May 22nd, guys, please come out if you would. It'll be awesome. You don't have to stay very long if you don't want to, but I think there's going to be some really good food, a lot of really cool people there, and it's just going to be really awesome. If you're a YouTube channel, you'd be crazy not to show up, because I'll tell you what, my channel blew up when I went to the last meetup, and it's the single probably greatest thing that's happened to my YouTube channel since I started about 7 years ago. So I'll also probably have some duck calls there. I've recently got into making duck calls, so I got quite a few of those there. Some of these probably are already going to be given away by the time I even get to that meetup. There's a couple other people I'm giving some duck calls to. So some of those are already going to be given away. I plan on making a few more before the meetup, hopefully, and we'll probably be doing some giveaways there, giving away some duck calls that I've made. I have a good friend of mine that I've been watching and following along for a while on Facebook. He recently started up a YouTube channel, and it's called Brew Calls, BREW calls. And watching him is kind of how I learned a lot of the stuff I just didn't know about making game calls and stuff. And I watched a few other channels and stuff out there, and I encouraged him to start up his YouTube channel, got him kind of started there. I think he only has 1 video up as of right now, so guys, go check him out. And I'm trying to get him to go to this meetup. And one of these days, I'm going to go over to his place. At least I'm supposed to go over there and kind of, interview him or whatever, kind of show what he does and everything, and, try to help promote his channel a little bit. So this is the first time I'm trying to promote his channel. He does some really awesome stuff. If you have Facebook, go check out Brew Calls on Facebook. He's got a lot of posts and stuff on there. You can kind of see a lot of the work that he's done on Facebook. With game calls like turkey pot calls, squirrel calls, duck calls. I mean, you name it. If you can make it, he's probably made it. And he does really awesome work. So now on to sawmill blades. And some of the questions I've been getting is, what sawmill blade should I order for my mill? I know a lot of you guys have either just recently bought a sawmill and you just don't know what blade, you're maybe having issues with what it is you're milling, or you're thinking about buying a sawmill and you just want to know what blades to get. Now, when you order the 10-pack from Woodland Mills, it's $245 for 10 blades, And when I ordered my mill, I got 20 blades. I got 2 boxes. So that times 2, I think it comes out to like $24, $25 or something per blade if I did the math right. They also sell a setter and a automated sharpener at Woodland Mills. Go to woodlandmills.com. You can find all that stuff there. Now, what I'll probably be doing, instead of getting these 10-degree blades from Woodland Mills, these are a Lennox 10-degree blade, and they get the job done pretty good for pretty much anything. I've milled pine, like I think I've milled loblolly and ponderosa pine, mostly ponderosa pine as far as the softwoods go. Then I've milled all kinds of hardwoods. Probably the hardest one to mill and get a really good cut on is hickory. Hickory is one of the hardest ones to mill. But when you look at this right here, what you can get is anywhere from a 4-degree to a 12-degree hook angle. Now, what that is picture, I know I wanted to use this, but it's easier if I draw it, I think. This is the spine of the blade here, and then you have the teeth here. I guess that comes up kind of like that, and then you kind of do this right here. All right, so let's say a 4-degree is going to be more straight up and down, and this is a measurement of the face of the tooth. Now a 12-degree is going to be more like that. It's more aggressive. A 8 to 10 degree is most common. You can use 8 to 10 on pretty much any kind of wood. If I was milling nothing but pine, I would probably go with a 10. I don't think I would take it up to a 12. It depends on just how good your mill is. If you've got a really high dollar mill, like say a Cook's, you might go with a 12. I still probably wouldn't do a 12 because what happens there is the steeper that pitch is, the harder it is to keep that blade flat just because it's so aggressive and is practically trying to pull itself through that log. But a 10-degree blade does really good in pine. If you're doing pretty much nothing but hardwoods, I'd probably go with a 7 or 8 degree. And it just depends on what the manufacturer can do for you. They usually are going to be somewhere around 8 to 10 degrees in there. You can get like an 8 degree or you get a 10 degree. Again, if you're doing hardwoods, I would say an 8 degree is going to be prime. I don't know that I would go any less or any more. Now, with the set, you can go from anywhere like, usually it's going to be anywhere from like 22 thousandths to 24 thousandths. Now, the set on a blade is you're going to have one tooth on here set to one side, another tooth set to the other side, and it's just bent over one side to the other. And then your third tooth is going to be just straight. It's not bent at all. So what that does is create the curve and allows for the space for the blade to travel through there more freely and clear out the sawdust. Now, if you're having trouble with it clearing out sawdust and you're resetting your own teeth, you probably want to go with a lesser set, more like a 18 or a 22 thousandths set. And that's just a measurement of how far that tooth is actually bent when it's all said and done, is the thousandths of an inch, from straight to where it's actually setting. So you can use something like a dial indicator like this right here that I use to check your set to see where that's at. Now, some people will do like 30 thousandths or something. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but the more set that you have, the more horsepower is required to, go through that cut at the same speed that you normally would. So a little bit less set allows for a little bit less horsepower and still to cut at about the same speed. So there's a whole lot of factors in figuring out what blade you want to get. But honestly, I would say just go with your common 8 to 10 degree, and that is a middle of the road, going to work for pretty much everything and produce a satisfactory cut. After all, anything coming off of a mill is considered rough cut. It's just rough cut, and you can't expect any better. Now, if it's looking like a washboard, then you got to look into things like, is the mill set up properly? Do you have a bent blade? Is the blade, is it trying to dive? Is it going down the carriage like this? I know that's a little exaggerated. It's going to look straight, but when you start cutting, if you notice it's trying to dive and it comes back up and it's doing this, like a washboard, like wavy, is probably the mill. Now, if it's really tight washboard, it's probably you have a bent tooth, you have your set is off on a few teeth or something. Maybe it was like that from the factory. Maybe it got damaged or something, or it's just off a little bit. Maybe you hit a knot. A really hard knot can sometimes kind of grab a tooth or three and bend them just slightly, and you'll start getting a rougher cut. Usually when you go back and you start looking through your stack of lumber, you'll see exactly where it started happening at, and you can kind of see what caused it. It might be a piece of fence wire or something. If you hit steel, or even like a bullet, maybe a stray bullet went into the tree and you mill through that, sometimes that will mess up the set on a blade. And it doesn't really ruin the blade necessarily. It just means that you end up having to go and kind of touch up the face of the tooth, sharpen it a little bit on all of the teeth, not just one, and reset the set. Now, you can do this on a budget, and you can get a handsaw tooth setter. This right here was meant for a handsaw, like the old handsaws. You set the teeth for the kerf, much like on a bandsaw here. But basically, you put this on your blade, and I got to look at it and see. All right, so this tooth here is set to go that way. So you can kind of see here, I've got, there's a plunger in there, and then there's an anvil on the top side. And basically I put this in there, if I can do this, just like that. And I put it up against the face of this other tooth, kind of down in the gullet there, put it like that, and give it a little bend. And now you can see that, that tooth right there that's kind of up above all the rest. This one was actually ready to be set. And basically, you're redoing that, and I don't have to do this every time I sharpen them, but a lot of my blades have hit metal and it's messed up the set. So I've got a pile of blades over there. There's probably 15 blades over there that I need to go through and touch them all up, sharpen the face of the tooth, kind of grind down in the gullet a bit. If there's microscopic fractures in there, you're going to want to grind that out. And if you do that every time, you just kind of prolong the life of your blade. Reset the set on them every time. I mean, again, you don't have to. If you know that blade hasn't hit any metal or anything, you don't have the set knocked out of whack, and you just been using it for a few hours, maybe gone through a couple of logs or something with it, you might just touch it up, touch up the face of the tooth and a little bit down in the gullet, and you should be fine. Now, I use a pedestal grinder, and that's not very accurate. It's not the preferred way to sharpen a blade. With a little bit of practice, you can achieve satisfactory cuts by doing that by hand like that. A lot of people I know will use like a Dremel, and they will grind down in the gullet and up the face of the tooth. And, it's a little time consuming, but, if it's a rainy day or something, you don't feel like being outside in the freezing cold or the rain or what in the weather. A lot of times, days like that, it's kind of nice just to sit inside by a fireplace or something, if you got one in your shop, someplace nice and cozy, and touch up all the teeth on your blades and, get them all ready to go for another good day of milling. And that's usually what I do. That's why I don't put a whole lot of videos out, because a lot of my free time on days like that, I'm in here, you know, making duck calls or sharpening blades or, you know, making some coasters for somebody or something like that. And, you know, I don't know, I just try to be really creative, and I try to inspire other people to be creative and make things. And, you know, anyways, I think that's about it for this video. Hopefully I get to see you guys at the meetup there in Pryor, Oklahoma, May 22nd. And you guys will be able to see the sawmill and the Log Arch trailer in action out there. And you get to meet all kinds of other channels. Again, last time there was 45 channels there. About 200 people in all, I think, showed up. But 45 channels last time, and it's expected to be much, much bigger this time. And if not all, most of the other channels, the channels that was there last time, I think are supposed to be there this time. Hopefully they will all be there, and then some more. I know there's going to be a ton more channels that I've heard of that are going to be there. I can't keep track of all of them. But like last time, just to name a few, there was like the first one I've seen there, I believe, was Grumpy Grandpa Patriot Show. Then their other channel is Two Old People on a Couch. The Crockers, Sawyer Ridge Farm, Jared Crocker, Matt Crocker. Let's see. Journey Along with Shannon, Paragon Ridge Ranch, Ridge Life, Oklahoma Adrenaline Life. The list goes on and on, guys. There was a ton of channels there, 45 of them to be exact. And I can't just like from memory run through all of them, but that's just to name a few of them. Sorry, guys. Oh, Matt Payne, the Payne family, they were there. Sunny Slope Homestead. It goes on and on, right? So anyways, hopefully I get to meet you guys there. Hopefully you guys come out. We'll probably be giving away some duck calls. You know, like right here, this is one of my favorite ones right here. And I recently went to, I was using quackwhacker.com to get my call inserts, but these right here, I switched over to Echo Calls inserts, and I really like the way they sound. So I guess to end this video out, let me demonstrate a duck call for you, and we'll see you next time. I'm getting better, I think. Not the best, but I'm getting better. We'll see you later. Have a good one.